Let's pretend we've never seen these cards before. Allie, I have this little pile of cards here.
Oh, I didn't notice.
Hi, I'm David Hollander. I teach fiction writing here at Sarah Lawrence College, and I have for about 20 years now.
I'm Allie Zapson. I'm a senior studying psychology and creative writing. And this is
SLC Transcript Review. Oh, Allie, what do you study here at Sarah Lawrence College?
I study psychology and creative writing.
So I teach a variety of fiction writing classes here. Allie's been in a number of them. And I would say that generally my fiction writing classes revolve around the idea of experimentation or innovation in contemporary fiction. And so we read a lot of sort of strange or alternative ways of making story, and we try to think about why people would create these specific artifacts. That sound right to you?
I agree.
Okay, this is the name of one of my classes. Do you think, do you want to talk about this class?
Yeah, so Building a Better Matrix is a fiction writing workshop that David teaches. It was the first writing class I ever took, and it was the first writing class I took with you. So I needed, in the nicest way, I needed like a throwaway class.
I was your throwaway class.
That was like, I don't really care if I'm in this class or not. It would be cool if I was in this class, but I don't need to be in this class. And I got in the class, and I was like, I don't know how to write, and I have never written creatively. It's very vulnerable to start writing and share your writing with your classmates and with your professor. But I felt very comfortable, and the way that you taught me to talk about writing and look at sentences and understand like what's going on within stories and stuff like that, that totally just changed my perspective. And then I was like, okay, I'm studying writing now, and this is a thing I want to do.
Yeah. I remember that class was sort of coming out of the pandemic a little bit, and I had taught that class during the pandemic, and it got interrupted. I didn't like how that had felt, and so I wanted to reboot it, but I didn't think it would go as well as it did. And honestly, a big reason for that was you, because that was where I felt like you sort of had the realization that you could be good at this. Narrative strategies. It was my first lecture ever, actually. Yeah.
That was your first lecture ever?
Yeah, I'd never done it before. Yeah.
It was a great lecture. I think this class played out more seminar-like than any other lecture I've taken. The class was in sort of a square, so it was sort of like easier for us to all talk.
You remember the group conferences, they felt like a workshop. So in addition to having this space where I could kind of teach more, because the primary work wasn't the student work like it is in a workshop, that was really eye-opening for me. Just like, oh yeah, I could teach this way as well without, not the crutch, but the source material of the student work. During that semester, my mom died suddenly. And I remember that Allie sort of convinced some security people to let her, let's phrase it that way, to let her into my office where she and some other students left flowers and a card for me, and it was like so moving, and everyone was just like so understanding during that time. And I remember really badly wanting to like not cancel classes and just sort of keep teaching you guys, because it was a sort of source of warmth and community in my life at a really hard time. The enemies of fiction.
This is your baby.
Yeah. This is a class that, as I would say about 7 or 8 years ago, I changed the way I taught. And it had occurred to me that most of the conversations we were having in the classroom were really like plot and character centric. It seemed like there was an unspoken belief that if you could just get the right people to perform the right set of actions, a good story would emerge. But what had actually drawn me to fiction writing was language and structure and seeing a thing I'd never seen before. And so The Enemies of Fiction was my first and best attempt to create a class that would honor other things. It's called The Enemies of Fiction because of this quote from the writer John Hawkes, who said he started writing fiction with the belief that plot, character, setting, and theme were its enemies, and if he could expunge them from his work, he'd be getting somewhere. So the course replaces that quartet with 4 other sort of energy sources, were language, structure, voice, and ideas. Although I guess in narrative strategies, that's when we read the Laszlo Krasznahorkai book, the one-sentence book.
Yeah, I have issue with that book, but...
Oh, the Battle of the Group Conferences. Do you want to try to?
I mean, I can try. So the Battle of the Group Conferences is something that David does or did in narrative strategies. Do you do this in other? Have you
I'd
done
never
it
done it before. No,
Okay, so David had spent like a full month or two, maybe the whole semester, being like, the Battle of the Group Conferences is coming. You guys have to prepare.
It's true.
They split the class in half, and it was really serious. It was like an actual battle.
You had your team of 15, and then there were 2 tables, each of which could sit 4 or 5 people. And so you would decide which members of your team were going to handle which thematic part of the contest. And you'd send up your group of 5, and I'd pose a question, and then you'd buzz in. Or some of them were creative prompts. And then they would read these responses out loud, and I gave points, and then the winners got trophies, and the losers got trophies.
Did we get the same trophies?
Well, no, they said different things. So what?
I mean, I have the trophy still.
You do? That's good.
I think it's just like generic.
Is it displayed somewhere prominently?
It's my childhood bedroom.
Yeah, perfect, yes. Something David Hollander, that's me, does not expect to find in your portfolio. What does that mean to you, Allie?
Most writing classes, you're going to give a portfolio at the end. David's like final thing on the sheet is like, put something I'm not expecting in here. The first time I did this, I gave him my social security number. And then the second time, I said, you'll be surprised in the future with something. Like in a couple of weeks, you'll be getting something.
And I'm waiting still.
He's never received it. So I guess that is something unexpected.
But often I get like photographs or things students have produced in other classes or music they've made. And of course with Allie, so excited to see what odd thing she might come up with for the portfolio. And then I got blanked.
I'm going to say that it was intentional. That was my plan the whole time.
Yeah, it's really not too late, Oh yeah, let's do this one. Why are you having us read this?
Nice.
Which is a question Allie has asked me on a number of occasions. I think a lot of writers think that if you're writing fiction, the goal is to entertain, that it's like about storytelling. And that is definitely a really important function that fiction can serve. But I also think fiction can be a political statement. Fiction can be an ontological statement, like what kind of a world can I create on the page, and how does it or does it not resemble the world I live in? Fiction can be just a sort of appreciation for the fire of language when it's unleashed in a specific kind of way. And so you asking me those sorts of questions made me like evaluate what it was that made this so important to me. What have I taught you, Allie?
Well, you taught me. I think this comes from like the what you talked about with workshopping, how we respond in a very specific way that sort of prevents you from being mean to someone about their writing. And so I think I learned there's a way to comment on someone's work and give criticism in a very nice way, which I think carries over to life.
Allie taught David. One thing I will say is that 90% of students don't really see their instructor as a human being, right? It's like it's mostly one directional, right? They want to take something from you, and if you're a good instructor, you enjoy giving that thing, right? But the whole relationship, the whole teaching relationship changes when you feel like you are also seen. But also just more generally, I feel like after we sort of got used to each other, I could behave around you more like a mentor. You definitely taught me that it was okay to be vulnerable sometimes. Also, you just taught me how great sentences could behave when they came from the heart. Yeah. What writing means to us.
Writing is like having a best friend who you can go back to whenever you want. I don't know, writing means a lot to me. It's like top 2 favorite things. I don't know what the other one is. I really like writing.
The thing I always tell my students is that the best reason to write fiction or to be a writer is that you feel less shitty when you are writing than when you're not.
I would almost classify writing as an antidepressant, which could be controversial to say. I guess I can say it.
What interdisciplinary means to us?
I can say that I'm studying psychology and creative writing, but also be studying philosophy and literature and a bunch of other things. I don't know, I think a lot of Sarah Lawrence classes sort of cover multiple disciplines, even your classes. I mean,
definitely,
because we read so many books,
Yeah.
it can, and the way that we talk about them functions as a literature class sometimes.
So I'm thinking about how, so my background is not really in writing, it's in philosophy. I came to writing from philosophy. I thought I was going to get a PhD, and then I published a novel, and a different kind of career path opened up to me. So I'm always thinking about, this sort of philosophical conceit behind a work of fiction, but I'm also interested in physics, in cosmology. So I often tell writers, like, if you want to be a writer, don't just think all the time about craft of writing, right? Be like curious and interested in everything, because that will feed the writing. Why SLC, Allie?
I mean, I would personally say it's the professor-student relationship that you get to build in your classes. We have really small classes. You meet with your professor bi-weekly. You don't really do that at other schools. I've never really heard of other schools doing that.
For me, I would just say that the conference system itself, and the fact that in addition to building a community of writers in this space where we all get together for 2 or 3 hours a week, you have the additional, opportunity to meet with students one-on-one, help them develop the gifts that then they'll bring to the group. But also as an instructor, you have enormous freedom here to teach the kind of class you want to teach. Okay, wrap it up now, Allie.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. It's really, it's been fun to talk this way with Allie and to think about Sarah Lawrence and the work we've done together here.
We're sort of the best ones here.
That's true. Yeah.
If you hear from any others, just disregard them.